Hi guys, welcome to my bedroom. This is my pickle Rick, he doubles up as my pregnancy pillow. And today I'm going to be discussing how I self-inseminated to get pregnant for this surrogacy journey. IVF clinics tend not to encourage home insemination because, of course, they don't make any money out of it. And a lot of women do prefer to go for intrauterine insemination, but intravaginal insemination seemed like the obvious choice for me because it meant that I could do it in the comfort of my own home. Making a baby is one of the most natural things the human body can do, and women do get pregnant all the time. So if there are no known fertility issues, I think it's much nicer to try and do it at home than have to go to a sterile clinical environment. I also think it's nicer for the couple, for the intended parents, because they'll have probably already been through their own IVF and fertility issues. To not have to go through the clinical side of things again for surrogacy is a real benefit. Now, in my opinion, being a member of an agency such as COTS it's fantastic for a number of reasons, but a big one is that everyone involved gets an STI check right at the beginning when they submit their applications. So intended parents and potential surrogates all submit negative results, obviously, which just protects everyone, including the soon-to-be fetus. Another huge upside to traditional surrogacy is that each disappointment only lasts a fortnight. Now, what I mean by this is when you do the insemination, you have the dreaded 2-week wait to find out if you're pregnant or not. And then with either a negative pregnancy result or your period, whichever one comes first, there is, of course, disappointment. But that only lasts for 2 weeks because then you ovulate again and you start again. So it's a really quick turnaround, you don't have time to get down in the dumps that you haven't got pregnant, because before you know it, you're at it again. So personally, I chose to opt for traditional surrogacy as opposed to gestational, because my understanding of gestational surrogacy is that you can spend months and months aligning your cycles with the intended mother, using tons of hormones in both your bodies, or, test tube baby and they create the embryo for you and that's all put into you. But to be honest, this was just never at the forefront of my mind. It all seemed like a really long-winded way of doing things. I totally understand people that want to do that and that can use their own eggs and will have their own genetic child, but for me it wasn't at the forefront of my mind. My mum did traditional surrogacy and personally I thought it was the best option. And in terms of the egg, I'm not concerned that I will have a genetic connection to the child. As far as I'm concerned, if that egg hadn't have been fertilised, it would have simply left my body with my next period and that would have been it. So I just think, why not put it to good use? First of all comes the pre-seed. The Amazon link will be in the comments down below. Pre-seed has been described as the LOG FLUME for sperm, which is appropriate. It helps the little swimmers along the way. A lot of lubes are too thick and they hinder the sperm, so they can't swim up to the cervix. But pre-seed mimics the body's natural fluids, so it's very stretchy and stringy and yeah, it's good stuff. So I followed the instructions to the letter. I inserted 2 grams approximately 15 minutes before the insemination, and the directions do say that your body will naturally eject anything that's too much, any excess. So 2 grams seemed about right for me. My body wasn't rejecting any of it. And yeah, I'd give it roughly the 15 minutes and take it from there. Next, the guy goes to the bathroom and he masturbates. Unfortunately, this is awkward for everyone involved, and even after the 8th time, it doesn't get any easier. But to try and alleviate some of that awkwardness, he leaves the pot in the bathroom. There's a quick mad rush to say goodbye to the couple. Then I go and get the pot, stick it in my armpit to keep it warm, because sperm doesn't survive for very long at room temperature. It needs to be body temperature. It can survive for up to 5 days in the female reproductive system, but in a plastic container, not very long at all. So with the pot firmly tucked under my arm, I would have my final pee so that I wouldn't need to get up in the middle of the night, and I would come and assume the position. I'd have everything all set up and laid out. I'd have a towel on my pillow, just in case there's any leakage, and yeah, try and keep this as level and steady and warm as possible, and it's all a race against the clock at this point. The couple bought the kit on Amazon. They're about 50 quid each. Link is in the description. We got a German kit, so that was fun. I had to get my German friend to translate a couple of bits for me, which, yeah, was awkward for a lesbian to be explaining. That was very good fun. And the only downside I would say to that kit is that the syringe is a little bit small. It could definitely be bigger, but I mean, it's no great fuss really to have to do it more than once. Now, I'll quickly demonstrate the position. I say quickly. I'd be doing all of this with a pot of semen, trying not to spill it. And this shelf wasn't here at the time. So, I'd wiggle myself up, like so. There we go. And that's it really. Legs bent or straight doesn't really make a difference. And I'd be here for about an hour. So the main reason is that you've got the pillow and it keeps your hips up. Your pelvis is tilted. So that's about it. And to get down, I would be really, really careful to keep my hips up, like so, and swivel myself around, and so on. Whew. Glad I didn't wait until I got any bigger to do this video. I would then use a little needleless syringe. It comes all pre-packaged and I'd have everything all laid out ready so I could just get started. Time is of the essence at this point. So this is the little syringe. And as you can see, it is only 1 millimetre. Milliliter, sorry. And get the pot, and yeah, you slowly and delicately draw it into the syringe. Now there are some theories about this. Some people say to place it into the vagina and leave it, don't drop it. Place it into the vagina and leave it, and then slowly and you want to slowly squeeze it down all the way, like so. And you have to rinse and repeat about 5 times on the first night. The second night, about 3 times. There's a noticeable difference. This is why it's so important that guys abstain for a few days when you're trying to get pregnant. So I realised I said rinse and repeat. Absolutely no rinsing. Don't be gross. These are single use only. What I mean is that at each individual insemination, you keep going until you've used all of the semen using the same syringe, but then everything goes in the bin. So then after laying with my legs in the air for some time, about an hour, I would as I demonstrated, slowly twist myself round, trying to keep those hips up. Grab a pair of prepared panties with a panty liner on them, pop those on, slowly lower myself and try and go to sleep. I say try because it's really bloody exciting, and knowing that you might be creating a little human, it's difficult to doze off, but I just lay still and relax, read a book and eventually get tired enough to fall asleep. And then in the morning, every woman who's ever had sex will know what I'm talking about. You have the drop. So it's far from an immaculate conception. So at this point, it's just shower time and hope that you've created life. I will just quickly explain the sperm cup. Personally, it didn't work for me, and on a previous insemination, I did have a bit of a balls up. When I removed it in the morning, it was empty. There was nothing in it at all. So effectively what I'd done was blocked my cervix, and all of the semen must have been around and couldn't get in. So on this occasion, I decided to have a trial run before Laura and Al got here. And I popped the cup in, you know, you squeeze it and pop it in, give it a wiggle, get it in position. And it landed exactly in place, which sounds great. But your cervix is really high when you ovulate. And I couldn't reach it at all. I could just feel this part. Couldn't actually get hold of the lip. I panicked, as you do. In about 5 seconds, I had a million thoughts go through my head. Am I going to have to go to hospital? Is someone else going to have to fish this out for me? I'm going to have to ring my mum. Oh great, Laura's texted me, they're round the corner. Fantastic, what do I do? Breathe. I thought logically. I got a pen. I washed the pen thoroughly. And eventually I managed to hook part of it enough to grab hold. I was clinging on for dear life, and I managed to pull it just low enough that I could get it out. But good God, that was a scary 5 minutes, and I decided not to use it after that. It was too stressful. So there are some women that swear by them. They're really brave and pop the semen actually in the cup and put it in like that, but with you're upside down as it is. I mean, I would get spunk everywhere. So on that delightful note, thank you so much for watching this video. I will be doing a separate one talking about my own fertility, the things that I learned along the way, and like the tips and tricks to getting pregnant using home insemination kits. So if you are interested, please subscribe so you get a little notification when I post that one. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now.